So the first thing you want to do when you do an oil change, if you don't have the ability to have a pit or an actual lift, you need to be able to get the car up because it's a low car and there's no way you're going to be able to get under that thing. So you make sure you have some very sturdy and approved ramps. These were built actually by my grandfather, welded back in the 1950s, and it's all solid tube steel, and it's had some really heavy stuff on it, so I know definitely know it'll hold. So that's the first step, getting it up on the ramps. So once you are secured on the ramps, even though this is an automatic transmission and you put it in park, it shouldn't go backwards, but it's a good rule of thumb if you put the emergency brake on, which for the 2014 Charger is right here. You just push it all the way in and it is now locked. Second thing, obviously, you pop your hood, and it's not a bad idea to warm the engine up a little bit. That way the oil is easier to pour out. Now, you probably don't want to change the oil after you've been running for, I don't know, operating temperature, because your oil will be scalding hot and you don't want to burn yourself. But nothing wrong with warming it up a little bit to help it drain a lot easier. So first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and take this oil fill cap off. That'll give the engine room to breathe so when it pours out. Something I want you guys to notice also, it tells you, not only in the owner's manual, but right on the cap, what they want you to put in it. So I do run 5W20 full synthetic, and there is a reason behind that. So this is what I run. Castrol high mileage, because I do have 178,000 miles on my Charger. So this seems to work good at a decent price. So that is what I use. A lot of people will go with a thicker oil, and I do not recommend that. The oil pump that was designed for this 5.7 isn't the greatest. In fact, when I did my camshaft, I went ahead and opted for the high flow Hellcat oil pump. So I'm on a normal looking between 75 to 78 pounds of oil pressure when I am operating. So better oil pressure, you're getting things lubricated a lot easier, especially up on those rollers and the cams and everything else that needs oiled. So I would highly suggest staying with whatever the vehicle asks for. That's what you keep it. I know a lot of people run thicker stuff to quiet their engine down, but that engine is saying, hey, there's something going on. There's a wear, there's something here. So why are we disguising it? We need to fix it. So that is my 2 cents on that. I'm sure I'll have some arguments there, but that's just the recommended oil. So that's what you should go with. All right, let's get under the car and identify where the oil drain plug is and what tools you will need. I always lay down cardboard, not only for comfort, but it does help when you splash a little of that oil spill or whatever. It's a little easier to pick up. So a light is a pretty good necessity, an oil drain pan, as well as a socket set. And in this case, we are using a 17 millimeter for the drain plug, as you can see there. And then an oil filter wrench. I actually prefer these kind because you can get really big and really small oil filters without any issues. So let's get down there and check out where the oil drain plug is. So this right here is the oil drain plug. I did buy an aftermarket one, so if yours looks a little different, that's okay. I got one with a magnet on it. With all my engine work, I wanted to make sure if there was any kind of debris or metal shavings at all, that it would pick it up. Luckily, I haven't had any. So let's get started. Alrighty, go ahead and move this underneath. And then I usually do it by hand. Kind of cause a little pressure. It's gonna start leaking out real soon. As soon as you feel that last thread, just pull it out. It's okay, you get a little bit on your fingers. That's why you bring a towel. Now, like I was saying, I got a magnet on the end of this and it looks pretty good. The oil, on the other hand, is very black. Hence why we needed to change the oil. So, you wipe your drain plug off, get all the oil off of it, and it has what's called a crush washer on it, and I usually inspect it, and this one is still good. Some people tell you need to replace the crush washer every time. That's not a bad idea, but where I have been changing my oil every 5,000 miles. I usually do it every other time. So set that to the side and let it drain completely out. Next, we will be hitting the oil filter, and I'll get repositioned and better lighting so we can see that. So once it gets to pretty much a very slow drip or completely stops, I usually wipe it and then I put the drain plug in. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wipe it, and I'm gonna put the drain plug back in. And go ahead and wipe that again. Screw it in the rest of the way. Finger tight. Get all that excess oil off of there. Like that. Looks perfect. And go ahead and tighten it. And you don't gotta be super tight with this. I go hand tight, which I'll show you what I mean by hand tight. So I go snug and then just a little bit more. That's it. You do not need to over tighten that. This is an aluminum oil pan, so you definitely don't want to strip that out. So that's done. Now, right here is your oil filter. And I will show you what we do. Grab an extension. Put it in here. Okay. I spread this out where it goes over the top of it. And I get on this side of it. There we go. And you're gonna actually have it where you're unscrewing just like you'd lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So lefty-loosey, and I just crack it free like that. And that's it. So that way I can get my oil pan underneath it, because it's kind of a messier deal here. So as you can see, just like that. And of course they had to put that in the way, engineering, but I mean, that is how it goes. That's your sway bar. That's what keeps your vehicle from basically overturning if you're going into a turn. It helps press the other side and keep you leveled around corners at higher speeds. So I let that drain a little bit. You can always, like I said, go a little bit more. It's got a lot of threads on it, so it'll take a while. And it looks like it's almost done. So I'm gonna go ahead, you'll get a little bit coming out of it. And when you bring this down, just keep it level. And I'll show you what I mean by that, because it's gonna be full of oil. Just like that. You just slowly bring it down and you can dump it. Just like that into the oil pan. Again, it's an oil change, guys. If you're scared of getting oily, maybe you should have somebody else do it. So, anyways, that is the oil filter. Now, on the oil filter housing, something you want to look at is you want to make sure that there's no O-ring left on the housing itself. And the O-ring I'm talking about is this one right here. It has happened to me before on a truck of mine, and I was leaking oil and wondering what was going on, and something so simple as leaving the O-ring on was a big deal. So verify that that is not on there. I let this probably drip, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'll clean it up and we'll put the new oil filter on, and we're over halfway done now. That out of the way. All right, let's see if I can get in here and you can see it good enough. All right, so like I said before, I'm gonna clean this off nicely. This is the oil filter housing. Sorry if it's terrible. Kind of hard to get in here. All right, now you can see it real good. So that's a nice clean oil filter housing. So, you got plenty of room. Just stick that up in there like so. And I usually back it up a little bit and then go forward to make sure it's on there without cross-threading it. And you'll know right away if it's on or off, because it will be very easy like that when it goes on right. All right, it's starting to firm up good. All right, I'm gonna get a different angle here for you. There we go. And that is it. If you did get any on there, you could always wipe it off, make it clean around the sides. You want to double check that, make sure that's nice and clean. That's cool too. Beautiful. All right, so underneath the car is done, and now we fill it. All right, so the 5.7 liter Hemi takes 7 quarts of oil. So these come in 5 quarts. So I'm gonna put a whole bottle of this in there and then 2 quarts of this, and we will check it. So you definitely wanna make sure that your funnel's nice and clean. It gets dust and debris in it, so you wanna make sure that's nice and clean. So once you do that, you're gonna come over here, stick it in there. You're gonna go ahead and start pouring it in. That golden goodness right there. Oh yeah, definitely breathing. You can hear it burping. And what that noise is the inlet hose right here to your air filter is what helps it breathe to get it down. You can also open that up a little bit. That'll help a little bit too. Now you won't get that noise near as bad. You can actually hear it going right into the oil pan, which is pretty awesome. There we go. So that's 5 quarts. And double check. Nothing's leaking down there. And I don't see anything leaking. So that's a good start. Good sign. We'll go ahead and put a couple more quarts in. Probably do about 1.5 and then check it. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So let's let that drain a little bit, and we're gonna go ahead and fire it up, and we're gonna back it down so that the vehicle is level, because you can't get an accurate reading when it's not level. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, put the oil fill spout cap on and get it down, and then we can check the oil. Okay, so we got it now on level ground. So let's go ahead and check dipstick. You want to wipe it first, get anything that was on there from it running, because it splashes up there. Get it all good. I want to show you. So basically these little hash marks right here, if you can see that, you really want it in between these hash marks. If it's on this lower set, then I'd say probably a half a quart to a quart. I believe this line to this line is 1 quart. So anywhere in the middle of this is excellent. Sometimes it is hard to kind of see with brand new fresh oil. So I will show you what that looks like. So you leave it in there for just a second. You pull it out. And you can see it's right there at the F. Like I said, it's kind of hard to tell because sometimes it lingers a little bit up here, but the main, sometimes you can flip it over and see it even better. So the main spot is right there on the F, which is fantastic. So that is what we're going to keep it at, is right there. Wipe down anything that you got any oil on. And that, my friends, is how you do an oil change on a 5.7 Hemi Dodge Charger.